Okay, good evening. This is Debbie Davis. It is January 3rd, 2026. Okay, so starting a new year here. And I wanted to um, to talk more about what I touched on the last video, which was about this temple that I had mentioned in Romania. Okay, now if you've had a chance, I don't remember exactly what city it's in, but um, it it's it's a rebuilding of a Greek Orthodox church, like and it's huge. It's huge. But the thing is that it's in the design. If you look from an aerial view, it looks like the same layout as Solomon's temple. Okay, so I said I would do some research on this because I don't believe it specifies that the Antichrist is going to be in Jerusalem. It says there'll be a rebuilding of a temple, but it does not say that it's going to be in Jerusalem. As far as the Antichrist, I believe. Okay, so let me just explain what I found when I was doing some research here, and so it says in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, it refers to a temple where it says where an Antichrist will sit. This describes a man of sin. Okay, take his place in a temple. Okay, it says the man of sin opposes and exalts. In 2 Thessalonians 2:4, it says the man of sin opposes and exalts himself above every so-called God, so that he actually takes his seat in the temple of God. Okay, but it does not say that it's going to be in Jerusalem. So I truly believe that is where the Antichrist is planning on ruling and reigning, is that temple out of Romania. Okay, but I believe that God Himself will rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Okay, that that is the holy place that He plans on returning. That Jesus plans on returning. He ascended into heaven at the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, and it says that He's going to return there as well, the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. And so, these are the scriptures that it talks about these type of things. So we know that His temple is going to be restored. God's temple was going to be restored in Jerusalem, and then it talks about that in Ezekiel 40-48. It talks about Ezekiel's vision. That Ezekiel had a vision of a new and glorious temple in a transformed city, with God's restored presence in Jerusalem, a future spiritual renewal after the Babylonian exile. So you can look this up. This is in Ezekiel's vision. Okay, so this is exciting. I think there's going to be there's going to be a restored temple with God's presence there again in Jerusalem, I believe. And then I believe there's going to be a second temple where Antichrist, so it'll be two different kingdoms, opposing kingdoms, ruling, at the same time for a time. That's what I believe is going to happen. Okay. So I mean, and I don't have anybody talking about this church in Romania. I don't even remember where I saw it. I think I was looking up something about Greek Orthodox churches or something one time, or Roman churches or something like that, and I happened to come across it, and I couldn't believe how it looked just like the temple of Solomon's temple. Okay, and then also in the last video, I mentioned that the fraud in Minnesota here is not only regarding the Somalian fraud. I mean, it literally is in all of the state offices, and I've done videos exposing these state offices, my personal experiences. Okay, so when I've had all these issues with the police, harassment, which I've had for years since I became a whistleblower, the police should be so embarrassed. But they're not. They don't stop. It's really a demonic attack against me. It truly is. It's like they just, you know, it's just been years and years and years of them illegally stalking me, and that's why I'm so against this all this illegal surveillance, because they've clearly abused their power with this illegal surveillance for years, stalking whistleblowers like myself. So I had tried turning in a formal complaint with the Human Rights Office. And I have all the evidence. I've got about 200 videos of them illegally stalking me. And the Human Rights Office in St. Paul, no, first of all, nobody was even working in the office when I tried to report this. Second of all, they basically, they just blew me off. They wrote me back and said, this doesn't fall under our jurisdiction or human rights. So then they referred me to the Civil Rights Office, I think, Civil Rights, and then I went down there, and that was just a scary experience even going in there. Okay, I have this on my channel. It was Michelle Phillips' office in the sheriff's office and the Civil Rights Office in like a downtown office there, and it was like there was a glass. It wasn't even like a publicly open for you to just walk in. It was behind glass doors, like you were locked in. Just for it, so it was scary to even go in. It was like security, and then you go in and you're behind this security door, and I'm sitting there. I felt like a criminal just trying to report a civil rights complaint. It was like I was locked behind a security thing talking. And I have this on video. It was like I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be let out. I was in the sheriff's building reporting a police complaint against the police, and it was not a pleasant experience. I felt afraid to even be in that office, the civil rights, and there was sheriffs driving by and stuff outside. I was, it was a main government building, and I wasn't even, I thought they were going to try to lock me in there just for filing a complaint against them. I didn't feel safe at all in that office. This was the Civil Rights Office, and I filed a formal complaint, civil rights complaint about all of their police harassment, and I showed her multiple videos. I don't know who it was exactly who I spoke to, whoever the lady was. She was nice enough, but nobody ever followed up on my complaint. It's just, there's no follow-up. These are not real state offices. I believe they're all part of the fraud. So that's what happened there with that state office. And then I talked about how I got wrongfully fired from this company, Wagner. It wasn't a bad company to work for when I did work there. But what happened is they started, bringing in people, since we have so many people that have moved to the States, that they figured they could pay people less, and so they literally fired, I think, a total of 4 or 5 of us, and then we were all the white people, and then they were able to hire these other people for less money. I don't know if they were illegals or whatever, but, clearly it was, a money thing for Wagner. And so it was literally like a reverse discrimination thing. And about 4 or 5 of us were let go out of nowhere, pretty much. Well, in my case, it's even worse, because I'm supposed to be a protected whistleblower. A protected veteran. I'm a disabled veteran, and that's supposed to be protected status. Like, I'm supposed to be the last to be fired. And instead I was one of the first, because I'm a whistleblower. But it's supposed to be the exact opposite. And nobody's, taking this seriously in employment laws that we're supposed to be protected veterans, protected status. And it's disgusting. And so I was let go. And then, so we were going to, as a group, like a few of us, we were going to try to file an EEOC complaint. Well, first of all, I tried reporting this, where I got wrongfully fired, to the Department of Labor, and then I just uploaded the video about that, and I turned in a complaint, and then nobody was ever assigned to my case, so they just blew me off. Once again, this is fraud. This is fraud. And I was just, nobody ever was assigned to my case. I went in and talked to somebody a few months later, and there was this nice Asian lady that looked up my case number, and she said nobody was ever assigned to my case. So it wasn't her fault. She was just telling me that nobody was ever assigned to my case. And so basically they just frauded me there as well. And then several of us, like I said, we were trying to file an EEOC complaint because this was clearly like reverse discrimination. It was clearly like they had brought in either Mexicans or whoever they were from wherever they were from, and let several of us white people go. It was literally like a reverse discrimination, an EEOC clear discrimination case. And so we tried to get an appointment, a few of us at a time, at the EEOC office in Minneapolis, Equal Opportunity. And they kept moving the date of our complaint, and where we could come in. And then they finally they moved it like a year out, basically. And then I got a phone call that it was canceled altogether. So, so literally this is fraud. This is fraud in all of the state offices as well as what the stuff they're already finding in Minnesota. So, and that's just my personal experience. And I'm sure there's been other people that have similar experiences in the state offices. It's like Tim Walz has his own group of dirty Democrats or something, working all these offices that clearly are not in the best interest of Minnesota, just the regular people. So this is very serious, and thankfully people are starting to take it seriously now, and there's a lot of eyes on the situation finally. But this has been going on for years, and I bet they're going to find it in multiple different states. One of the whistleblowers that I had on my channel, Jamie, her name is Jamie Burke. I had her on my channel years ago, and she had a similar experience with the same police officer that assaulted me in Idaho. Also was the same one that assaulted her. And she had been targeted ever since she reported fraud in Idaho. So it's all seems to be regarding the fraud, and then you get on this targeted list, and then she started being targeted by the police there, and that's how her and I met. And then she stated that she had been targeted in various different ways ever since she just reported fraud at like a foster home that she was brought up in. Fraud and abuse, basically, of the people there, the kids there. So it all seems to be like you get yourself on a targeted list or something when you report any kind of a fraud. So she reported fraud, and then my friend Paul Register reported all kinds of stuff like that, and he's disappeared. This is very serious. All over and he's from South Dakota. He was trying to report stuff there. It's literally, it's I'm sure it's multiple different states. So, okay. But there's some exciting thing. I think a lot of things are going to start changing for the better. I've been listening to Ismail Perez, and I believe that it's not like the 3-1 Atlas is like come and gone. There's gonna be a presence here from now on. That's what I believe, and that's pretty much what he's been saying. There's transmissions from the Valley of Thor, and I believe there's going to be a continued presence from here on out, assisting us. So it's good. It's just there's a lot of us have just been through a lot of trauma, like myself. So that's what we have to work through, and a lot of military people have in general. Okay, that's my video for today.